welcome back to my channel, The Book Delicious Girl. In this channel, I post about book related videos, lifestyle and many more vlogs. So if you're interested, please do consider subscribing. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the rest of the books of 2024 wrap up from August to December, and this is the part 2 of the video. And today I'm going to review 11 books in here shortly. So without any further ado, let's start. The first one I'm going to talk about is this one, His Book After 10 Years by Apurva Mathur, and this is a mystery psychological thriller, and I enjoyed reading this book in the month of December. So this book is basically about a boy named Neil Mantri who transforms into an investigator later. He goes from a very traumatic situation in his past. After losing his mother, he becomes silent for 10 years. Can you believe? And he didn't speak for 10 years, and then he speaks miraculously after 10 years. And he goes out in an investigation to search for a murder mystery which occurred in COVID pandemic, and he searched for that. The murder occurred under no CCTV footage, so it was very hard for him to find out, but there is a more to it. You should read this book because it would hook you up till the very end, because it's very interesting. You should go for this one if you are a mystery thriller lover, and you should read about Neil Mantri, how he investigates the case and what happens in the story later. You should know about this. So this is the first one. So next I'm going to talk about 3 poetry books one by one. And so this is the first poetry book, Jasmine in Her Hair by Kalpesh Desai. This is a collection of loss, heartbreak, relatable feelings, self-discovery, and everything. Like, it's a story of the author's own experiences. You are going to love it if you are a poetry lover, and if you like to read poetry or write poetry, then you are going to love this book, because this book would give a warm hug to you and you are really going to enjoy it. Each of the poem has very different meaning to it, and there are 7 to 8 parts in the book where all the poems just taught different lessons. They were just, I don't know, but it was very comforting read for me. I just loved it because I related with almost each and every poem. You would relate to this book for sure. The next one I'm going to talk about is Ritvik Singh's I Don't Love You Anymore. I know you all have heard about this book a lot, and I recently finished reading this book, and I also love this book a lot because they were not actually poems, but they consist of short lines and very, small paragraphs. Not poems, I would not say them poems, but I can tell them they're very many poems, but also mostly they were of paragraphs and lines, relatable lines. It's a journey of author's heartbreak, loss, love, and everything, like how he faced heartbreak and how he turned this into a book. He wrote everything, like each and everything he wrote in this book after he faced the heartbreak and how he got over it. If you haven't read this book, then you should definitely pick this book up, because this is also a warm hug for you. This book is something that after you will finish reading this book, this is going to stay with you. So pick this book up. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is this one, Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. And people talked very bad about this book because they said that Rupi Kaur's books are not that well, not that good. You shouldn't read her books. But last year, when one of my junior recommended this book to me, I was like, I should read this book. I should give this book a chance, because this book talks about femininity, girlhood, love, loss, heartbreak again. Yeah, and a lot of things about a girl, how she feels and about her thoughts. So me being a girl, why shouldn't I give it a try? And I gave it a try and I loved it. Not that much, because some of the illustrations or drawings were if you know, you know. So yeah, but some of the poems are also I would not say anything, but yeah. But so there are total 4 parts in the book: the hurting, the loving, the breaking, and the healing. And the healing part literally gave me goosebumps, and I just loved the healing part. This was something I needed a lot. And if you want to heal your hurt, then you can go for this book. And if you have ever faced any heartbreak in your life, then this is for you, because I loved it. Of course, you are also going to love it. Don't believe in people's word that they say that don't read this book, or don't, like, just give it a try yourself, right? You don't have to hurt to anyone's things. Like, you also have your own perspective, right? Like, people have their own perspective. You should hear to your inner voice and go and pick this book up and read and share your thoughts upon it. Just think about it, why people said this is not wrong and why it's, yeah. So you should go for this book. So next I'm going to talk about these 3 books by the same author, Himashri. And the first one is 4 Tangled Lives by Himashri, and this is something unique I read this year, because it talks about astrology, occult, manifestation, and a lot of things which, if you belong from an Indian family, then you would know that how astrology plays a very important role in someone's life and in someone's marriage life, right? So this is a book of 4 individuals and 2 love triangles in. Okay, just imagine you are reading a story, and then one more story jumps in and the other one jumps in. How would you feel? Like, so many stories are going, right? So yeah, this was something unique because the author gave equal importance to all the characters. You would just feel, if you would feel it, because she has written everything like a normal person, like how the characters goes in a very, problematic situations or something like that. how they experiences everything, you would just relate with everything because they were like not looking like fictional, but they were real. I was feeling they were real, but actually they were not. This is a book that explores the intricate complexities of love, destiny, forgiveness, and loss. So yeah, and self-discovery too. So yeah, you should pick this book up if you believe in astrology and if you want to read something unique with astrological elements in the story. So you should go for this book. The next is Truth or Dare, by again from the same author. The book is about two individuals, Yukta and Yashas. They both are enemies. At first they become enemy and then they become, this is a enemies to lovers trope actually. And Yukta in Yasha's story was too relatable that I related with a lot of things. Yasha's was a very social, kind of person, but Yukta was not. She was very insecure kind of person. She always felt insecure about herself, and yeah. So their feelings, they liked each other, but their feelings were not coming to any contact. Their feelings were not coming out. Okay, but after playing this game, a lot of things came into reality and things changes. Like how they express each other and how they falls in love again. You should know it because I know readers from here are enemies to lovers, trope lovers. So yeah, you should go and pick this book up. So the next is Trip to Planets by Himashri. This is a story about a little boy named Mayur, who gets a homework on the topic planets and he doesn't have any idea about it. So he goes to his mother. His mother expresses everything about it, but he goes into a sleep after that and he meets Lord Ganesha and Lord Krishna in his dream, who takes him to each and every planet. It's actually based on the imagination of the author, and they were so cute. Like everything was so, you can see like this type of drawings and elements and illustrations were painted over here, and I was feeling like a kid when I was reading this book because I was also going to all the planets with Mayur. He was going with little Krishna. Little Krishna was making him understand about all the planets and how they work, and Lord Ganesha was also there, so I was feeling like I was also traveling with them. So this was something very, cute. You can give this book to someone who is little because it's a book for kids, but if you love to read something about kids, or if you love to read kids books, then that is a book for you. So the next one is this one, Color Me Red by V.S. Amitesh, and this is my best read of December. Yes, I love this book because this is a romance book with a science fiction elements. Okay, romance and science fiction together. So this is a story about Kyra, who belongs from a toxic family and her parents were not that supportive with her. So like she always gets, scolding and everything. If you're from a brown family, you would know how strict her parents are, and I actually related with this story because my parents are also strict. Anyways, so the story follows when she goes to sleep. She wakes up in a different environment. Like the place isn't her, everything isn't her, and she just gets up. There, she meets a guy named Manav who tries to help her, but she thinks that he's the one who brought her there. Okay, so at first she has some insecurities about believing or trusting people, but later it becomes good, and they both tries to solve the mystery. So this book was very interesting, very engaging. It kept me hooked till the very end. This book was a time travel book where she goes back into the time or the future. I would not tell where she goes, but and I love this book. Again, I have annotated this book actually, and I don't annotate the books I don't like. I only annotate the books I like. I don't know why I do. Anyways, when Kyra and Manav's story starts to begin, the main twist happen. There is a twist in the book, but there is another twist in the book, which is the main plot twist of the book. The plot twist would shock you. This book was a roller coaster of all the emotions. At some point, I was feeling like I should throw this book away. I was feeling angry, and then I will just say that it's a happy ending. I would not say much, but Kyra was very insecure and fearful before. In the story, it took very long time to get her faith back. It took very long time. But when she got it, and when she was about to begin her new life, the main twist happened. I just cannot forget this book because I would like to recommend this book to everyone who wants to read something like that, who loves adventurous book, who wants to read science fiction and romance together. Just go for this book. So I read this book in just one day and I loved it because these books are basically for kids, but I read it. You know why I read it. I already told you in my last book haul video that I'm actually a kid, but I'm not a kid. Anyways, so yeah, you should read this book because this is a book this box set comprises of mantras based on, there are total 6 books in the set, and like Lakshmi, Durga, Vishnu, Shiva, Ganesha and Saraswati. So there are mantras in Sanskrit, written in Sanskrit, and also you would get the translation in English, and also you would get the meanings of it. and drawings and mantras and translations in English. Everything was there. This box set is a perfect gift for your kids or your little ones, because they would learn a lot of things from here. Because in today's world, no one wants to learn about their Indian mythology or mantras. They doesn't want to read anything like that. But if you would give this set to your kids, then they're actually going to read it, because the illustrations and the drawings are very engaging for them. They're going to read it and they're going to learn a lot of things about them. Like, they would know why to pray to this god and how to pray to that god. They would know about the significance of all the gods over here and how to pray them and what to do to get their blessings. So yeah, you should go for this box set. So the next is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and this is my first Japanese literature I read this year. I actually started reading this book in the month of July, and I finished reading this book in the month of November. I just couldn't read it after reading one chapter of this book. I just hate it. Like, some parts were so repetitive, so broadly written, overly and repetitively. I didn't want to read it more further. So after reading one chapter in July, I kept the book down and I started reading a lot of books after that. And then I picked this book up again. In the month of November, and I finished reading this book. There are only total 4 stories in the book, and I only liked the 2 stories, the lovers and the mother and the child. This book was very cozy, actually very cozy. You would love reading this book on a rainy season. So this is basically about a cafe named Funicula and Funiculi, and it's based on Tokyo. The book has some rules, like you would go back in time, travel back in time, but you have some rule. You also can go to future, but you have some rule that you have to return back before the coffee gets cold. That, like, there will be a glass of coffee where you have to finish that hot coffee before it gets cold, and you have to come back in time. Like, you will just get very little time, and those are the rules, and a lot of rules are there. You should read this book. Like, I know that you know about this book, but still I'm telling you about this book, what happens. But I don't like it. I don't like this book a lot, but this was something unique for me because I haven't read like this before. But I'm looking forward to the other books of this series. There are, I guess, 4 books in the series. The new one came this year, but I'm going to read the other 3 one. So yeah, the other 3. So yeah, this is the one. So if you enjoy reading travelogue or time travel books, then you should go for this one. Okay, so the next one, I just finished reading this book, Odyssey by Alok Singh, and I loved it. I don't want to say anything about this book because this book contains of English and Hindi poems, also some quotes which you would gonna relate to. This book is based on author's own life, where he experiences about love, loss, heartbreak. He also writes about nature, life, experiences, and about his grandmother, grandfather, his students, and a lot of things. You know, I read Hindi poems after so long because after passing my class 10th ka exam, I stopped reading Hindi books. So yeah, I read this and I love this. If you enjoy reading poetry, then you should go for this book because this would also give you some great lessons, because the poems are a lesson. They are a form of art. The poems were written so nicely, like if you're a literature student, you are going to enjoy it. I just want to say that. Just go for this book. It's a must-read recommendation for you. That's it for today's book recommendation and part 2 of this reading wrap-up of 2024. I'm done with everything. Now, I want to show you 3 books. 3 new book mails, 3 new author review copies that I received this month. Like I told you on my last previous video of book haul that I want to show you, like I will be receiving 2 or 3 books from the authors and I'm going to show you on a video, but I'm going to show you. The first one is this one, Don't Leave Me Not Like This by Shayan Banik, and I'm looking forward to read this book in the month of January. So this is the book. The next one is this one, A Cup of Coffee by Khushi Mehta. Unplanned Journey by Insia Shakir. This is the book. And I'm planning to read these books in the month of January. I already have a lot of long, never-ending TBR, but I have to read this. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be finishing my TBR. Anyways, so yeah, that's it for today's video. So I hope you liked watching my review session video, and if you liked it, please do consider like, comment, and share, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Click the like so that you can get all my other notifications of the video whenever I will post. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. If you found any mistakes in my review session, then please do correct me, because if you would not correct me, I'm not going to learn. So do that. So yeah, till then, bye bye. See you in the next year. And lastly, I'm going to wish you all a very happy new year. So I hope the year fills you with laughter, happiness, and it fulfills all of your wishes. It manifests all of your wishes. So yeah, bye bye. See you next year. Bye bye.